Just stuck on one. Good morning and good now, everybody. This is Evan, and this is the Rise Up Morning Show. So good to be back with you. Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Monday. Oh my God. Do I have a smudge on my camera? Only the highest tech here. Yesterday, I saw an iPhone 14 Pro. Happy belated Mother's Day, by the way. Yesterday, I saw an iPhone 14 Pro, and my eyes almost fell out of my head when I saw the camera on that thing. When I took a picture with it, I was like, wow. Makes this look like a true relic of a time gone by. You know what I'm saying? To the many who celebrate, I hope you had a very happy, joyful, love-filled Mother's Day. To the many who are mothers, happy Mother's Day. Thank you for being you. Oh my God. I hope your Mother's Day was not like my phone stand. Letting you down. Bear with me while I get it together. If you're just joining the show, this is the place where we bring helpful news, commentary, crypto question and answer so that everyday people like you and me can learn to navigate the Web3 landscape, the blockchain landscape, crypto a lot more safely. Whether you're here for the short term trying to figure out what narratives are going to pump this bull run, or you're trying to set yourself up for the future to understand where this technology is going and where you could go with it, that's what we're here to do. And we're so grateful to be here with you. I do want to remind you before Alex gets here that if you don't have time today, you can come back tomorrow. You can come back Wednesday. You can come back Thursday because we're live Monday through Thursday at 7 a.m. or shortly thereafter Central Standard Time. And if you don't have time for that, oh my gosh, don't worry. We put the best bullets, tips, tricks in a super brief newsletter that goes out over the weekend before we start the next week of shows. It's at theriseupmorningshow.com. It's totally free. We hate newsletters, so we try to make it super valuable. If you haven't signed up yet, please do. And if you're having trouble with the newsletter, also let me know that too. Reply to the newsletter. Somebody told me they could only see the text in purple. I don't know how that happened. If that's you, please do let me know. Send us a message and we'll get it figured out. Good morning, Earthy Hen Vibes. Great to see you. There's Alex. I see Dave in the audience. Hey, Dave. Good morning to you. As soon as Alex comes up, I'm going to get my camera fixed. This week, we had a really poignant story in the newsletter. I had a friend reach out to me on social media who watches the show regularly because they were hoping for help withdrawing some money from a crypto platform that turned out to be a scam. So we're going to talk about it on the show today, but in the newsletter we talk a little about what you can do to hold content creators, influencers accountable, and some ways that you can report scams should you find them. We covered the live scam we found on last Monday's show, the Limu scam, which Alex also posted about. And we've got some tips for people who are totally new to crypto there from myself, from Mac, from Alex, from our friend Daniel. And that was all pulled from a panel conversation we had last Tuesday. All with links, all super brief, only at the Rise Up Morning Show newsletter at theriseupmorningshow.com. Or, you can tap my face, you can tap Alex's face, you'll find a link to get there. And I'm glad Alex is here because that means I can take a second from talking and try and prop up my gut. Are you matching me with the angle today? Did you see you joined and you were like this? In case you didn't know, my camera fell asleep. So, how you doing?
Oh, not bad. Not bad.
I'm sorry. What? My volume was all the way down.
I just said not bad. I'm not trying to match, but I'm using a different little tripod, and it's shorter, and apparently it's a lot shorter.
Well, hold tight. I'm trying to make this work. Alex, I had a weekend worthy of a phone call from you. We didn't talk much this weekend, but I really had a weekend worthy of a phone call. I was constantly, it felt like, doing interesting things. And I wish you had called me so I could have told you about it. How about you? Did you have a good weekend? Did Christina have a good Mother's Day?
Yeah, it was good. You know, it's relaxing. I think. Kind of um, decent. I don't know, semi decent rescue weekend. So it's all good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear it. In the chat, everybody let us know. I don't know what the hell is going on with. I'm gonna be fighting this thing
What
all
are
day.
you doing over there?
Let me know how your Mother's Day was. Let me know how your weekend was, and let me know what crypto questions you have, Alex. I don't have a good example. Every time I get this thing straight, I tap it with my hand, and then it just goes. This might be the angle you get today. Sorry, people.
Yes.
I wanted to share with you a story that happened. I put it, just alluded to it in the newsletter, but we haven't had a chance to talk about it, and it has to do with a flash loan. Are you familiar with flash loans? I figured you would be. So, not just a flash loan, a flash scam. I'm sorry, a flash scam. Flash loan. I've been living in Memphis for too long. A flash scam occurs kind of like our honeypot last week did, where a scammer creates a means to deceive you after taking money from you that you cannot withdraw. In the case of this person, and this happens a lot in crypto, okay? So please pay attention to this. This is. Let me know if this has happened to you. A scammer promoting a trading bot, posing as a celebrity, posing as an influencer, operating a platform with the help of an AI, somehow, some way gets you to send them some money. And they've created some sort of account, trying to make it look legit. They probably have a website. They probably have an interface where you can log in. It's not just like, trust me, bro, most of the time. And when you log into their website and when you send them money, they show you how your money is performing well. One day you're up 30%, the next day you're up 200%. All of a sudden, you're like, wow, this is great. I can't wait. I need to send them more money. And you send them more money and you send them more money and you send them more money, and it just keeps growing and growing and bettering and biggering. And then you want to withdraw. And you can't. There's a whole little interface to withdraw or send or receive money, but it seems like the only thing you can really do is send money to this platform. You try to send it to your Coinbase wallet, but it just shows that the transaction is loading, or it says the transaction can't go through, or they say, oh, we forgot. You live in the United States, or you live in Europe, or wherever you live, you got to send us $500 more so that we can clear your money from the platform, and then you'll be able to withdraw. There is no money except the money you paid them. I am so sorry to tell you, but your money is gone. No amount of money you give them will ever get it back. And at that point, your only recourse is to report a complaint to the platform you found them on, to file a complaint with the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, the CFTC, and also any of the places you touched along the way. Did you find about them on Coinbase? Did they run an ad on Dex Screener? Those kind of things. And the person who contacted me had lost all of their crypto holdings. They had transferred to this scammer that they sent money to via Trust Wallet. The website, when they went to check it again, had disappeared after raising some questions about it. They couldn't find them, and they had lost almost $30,000 this way. And this is a person who watches our show. And I was talking to them and I said, I am so sorry this happened to you. And Alex, I said to them, I said, what can we do? It just gave me a renewed sense of purpose and urgency to really find, any solution, a good solution. I said, next time this happens, I said, please send us a message. Like, this is the kind of scam that could absolutely be avoided with a little due diligence, and also like the help of a trusted community. The due diligence you can absolutely do yourself, but like, we have a great community of people here who can help you in about 30 seconds say, don't send your money to that before you ever invest. Not that you should need to rely on Alex and I or any one person here, but together, we are so much harder to take advantage of than we are individually. And I don't know. Like I say, it just really made me sad, man. Um, I don't know if you have thoughts to add or
Yes.
what, but
It sucks.
I was mad about it.
I mean, billions, and it's not a. It's this is not a uniquely crypto thing.
No.
It's billions and billions of dollars every single year are stolen from people under false pretenses and fraud. So I mean, I don't know. It's hard. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. You just have to
Yeah.
ask yourself. At the end of the day, what really are you risking? How worth it is it? Um, what's worse, missing out on some of these gains or losing everything that you put in? Uh, yeah, I don't know. I think it's really hard too because like someone like me in my age range ish, and I would say a little bit older as well. Certainly, people who are younger have grown up largely in a time where the internet was really a common thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Part of our
it,
lives.
it's not that insane, but you got to remember that like people who are in their 50s and up grew up and learned to be a person in an era where this wasn't what it is right now. And so context is missing sometimes. I like example, I vividly remember the first time I had like a sit down moment with my grandmother about my computer and I wanted to show her something. And what I needed her to do was point her face at my screen and just look at a picture. That was it. She was, for context, at the time, in her late age. She was born in 1918.
Oh yeah.
And she was just like, no, I don't know how those work. And I was like, no, 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 you don't need to do anything. Just look at it. And she's like, no, 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 I don't know how those work. And she just walked away. And and it seemed insane. But at the time, this is a woman who was born, in World War I time.
Yeah.
It's insane to think that with no context and no reason whatever that she would just like understand like, oh yeah, no, to do something. So these financial things, it's the same kind of shit. You prey on people who are older who don't know or have the same experiences that may seem like, to me, it's even hard to advise against because it seems insane for me to even entertain the idea that like, oh yeah, I'm just going to arbitrarily send thousands of my own dollars to some random nameless individual over the internet.
Yeah.
That's absolutely insane. I can't even fathom why I would even remotely entertain that for longer than it takes me to go, you know. But I don't know. So that's a really hard thing to advise against, other than just to say everyone on the internet is incentivized heavily to lie to you for any number of reasons. That's why this
Yeah.
is so hard.
Yeah. Someone asked if we consider paid promotions. In that vein, like we think very hard and long. Alex, I have never done I have done one what I would call a paid promotion that I totally disclosed appropriately. But it was not like a buy this crypto token. It was like a one time someone hired me to host an interview on one of my platforms. To help primarily their audience get to know them. It was like the CEO and the CMO didn't make it of a DeFi protocol. I've since forgotten the network, but like it was a legitimate project, and it really wasn't. It was not a. I was very clear with him. I was like, we're not going to sell this token. You're allowed to talk about what the token does, and if you have a roadmap for it, and you have these things people can do on your protocol, why DeFi is important, why you're building on this or that ecosystem, like that can be how we talk about it. And Alex and I think very long and hard and carefully about as we pursue monetization for this show, like how we want to do it. We're totally not against sponsorship. In fact, we would rather sponsors pay for this show than you, because it's going to help us make more better educational content that will stop people from making decisions like that. There's so much good content out there, but the fact that people know, like, and trust us, and that we are here and want to teach and share, we would love for promotional sponsors to pay for us to spend more time creating the course, building the community, and making the kind of resources, or sending us their stuff to try. Wouldn't it be great if we had a paid promo from Ledger that was also in the form of them just like sending us some wallets that every month we could give some people? That kind of stuff. So, this show is not sponsored, we often say, but could be.
There are last I looked, there are about 12 TikTok DMs. Dude, I regret one video that I've ever posted. Not because I feel bad about the video or whatever, but just because it's really opened a can of worms that I wasn't part of, which one half of the worms I was expecting, the other half I was not. So you remember I posted that Moonbase review video? It was like
yes, but no. I absolutely don't remember what it was about, but I remember it.
It might be the most recent video, but it was just, like,
what?
You take, huh?
Your most recent video? Then I haven't seen it.
Might be. Well, it's from a couple days ago.
Okay. I haven't seen it then.
Anyway, it was just like take these steps and apply them to any meme coin. Stop asking people for thoughts on whatever meme. Just take these 4 things and do these things, and then you'll have your own thoughts. And these are all the thoughts you can have on a meme. It doesn't go any deeper than this. This is literally it. Unlike all the other DIYR guides, where then you need to go off and read and do all. No, just do this. Spend 5 minutes. You now have the full picture of the meme. Okay. And I used Moonbase as an example because I had an assortment of comments asking about it. So I was like, yeah, whatever, sure, as good as any. I hated pretty much everything about it. It didn't, and I was fully open in the videos. Like, listen, none of this is a guarantee to be a scam, but the presence of this, with this, for me, it's a no. Well, the Moonbase Telegram discovered the video about 2 days in.
You got famous?
And they are not happy. Because I called their steaming pile of shit a steaming pile of shit. And to be clear, that's my assessment, assuming that it's not a scam. Assuming that it is not malicious, that it is just bad. And they're really pissed. And so the founder of that token left me probably, and I'm not exaggerating, most of them are filtered, and I deleted more than half of them because it was mostly the same shit, just copy pasted over and over again. He left me probably 30 comments on that video, all just begging me to get in touch with him so that he could clear his name or whatever. And then there was a whole bunch of like, you're an idiot, fuck you, you're wrong, whatever. And I was just like, wow, guys, really compelling stuff. Really,
your argument's so persuasive.
Really articulate arguments. Anyway, so I agreed. I was like, you know what? Sure. After the show on Monday, I will give you 30 minutes of my life to this founder. And I was like, and you can explain to me why this isn't bullshit. And I can't wait. And it's gonna be interesting. And he's like, yeah, I'm just really excited to clear my name. And I'm like, I'm really excited to give you some helpful advice, because there's only 2 possible scenarios here. One is that your project is a scam, and 2, your project is a useless waste of energy, and absolutely no one is better off for its existence. So we'll see. They're like, dude, I can't wait to hear the defense of some of these things. And if the explanation is not like, you got me, or, wow, I just had no idea, then, we'll be there. But like, it's hold to earn, which is the worst utility structure we've ever seen.
I'm sorry, what?
No, hold to earn.
Yeah, hold to earn. Yeah. I'm remembering this video now that you say it because
Yeah.
when you said it's got this, it's got a blacklist. I was like, oh, and the way you said it was so professional and helpful. You were like, at this point, I'm out. Like, but for the sake of education, let's continue. I audibly said yes.
But I know what he's gonna. I know they're all telling me like this video is harmful, and I'm like this video is accurate. It's not. If it's harmful, that's your fault. Because I went back and I watched and I was like, okay, was I unfair? Was I too harsh? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. But, Evan, like I always tell you, if I put something on the internet, I have a moment before I post it where I'm like, okay, how could this thing like impact, I don't know, my perception public? Like, what if someone tries to use this piece of my content against me? Can I justify what I'm posting or whatever? I always think that. And this video is absolutely no different. I assume that if I post a video about a project, someone from the project's going to see it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I will let you know how it goes. I am not holding my breath. And I know that he's going to just try to get me to take the video down. And like, listen, dude, you posted an audit on your website. And part of the audit was literally screenshots from your website as the proof.
I can't believe the audacity of that.
I'm blown away. I was just like,
you can get yourself into a job to maybe he's got a heart of gold and just doesn't know anything that he doesn't know. And
true, it's possible. However, if I see, that's one of those weird ones because like, yeah, sure. What if this individual offers me money to help fix the project? Where did the money that he is gonna give me come from? It came from poor suckers getting hosed buying his shitty token. So I don't think so. No thanks.
Yeah. Good on you, man. Tori had a great comment about I would love to come on as your assistant and just take notes. And listen, Tori, Alex is right when he said, I'm going to give this guy 30 minutes. When people give you, every time we get on the show, I'm cognizant of something a mentor of mine once said that when somebody pays attention to you, even for a minute, they are asking for nothing less than for you to change their lives. And the amount of times I have asked someone with a project like this to change my life, I would take a lot of it back. Let me tell you what. So you are welcome anytime, I am sure. But low expectations, my friend. Real low expectations. I hope they change your lives, Alex. All 9 of them.
Wait a second. Was it the Moonbase group?
Oh yeah, you got someone in here who's familiar with it?
I know that you're limited by TikTok comments here, but I have not joined their Telegram and I have no plans to.
Oh, is it Maja?
Yeah.
Also, Maja, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. If I'm not, let me know. Maybe like phonetically how to pronounce it. But it's good to see you here. Maja's been in the audience for a while.
Quite. I'm very curious.
Give us the Maya. Oh, pardon me. What like white guy mistake, Maja? Maya. Please do give us the inside scoop.
If they are not dumb people, then I'm more concerned than I was before that it's malicious because it's really bad. Yeah. Like there's nothing about it that presents as good. And okay. Let's do a.
Yeah, and this could open a really good conversation about hold to earn tokens generally because there are a lot of these. This is not an outright necessarily scam. This is one of the flexible mechanisms of smart contracts. You can design a smart contract and tokens to be any kind of game you want. The same way you can put cardboard and little, thimbles and stuff together and make Monopoly or Scrabble or Boggle or you name it. The pieces are composable. And it's not uncommon that somebody will have the idea to do a token that they call hold to earn. Incentivizing people to hold in order to do better together. Examples of this have ranged across the space from like fungible tokens, Olympus DAO. We had one a while back that a lot of people on TikTok got taken over by called T-Bot. essentially getting people to buy in to trade their valuable crypto like ETH or something for this token, which you were allowed to withdraw, but only after a certain period of time. I had a conversation recently with somebody I respect who is still exploring the idea of a token that has a vesting schedule for withdrawals, as it were. I don't think that's the terminology they use, but that's what it is, meaning there is a point at which you are allowed to withdraw. Before that point, you're not. Some people do open and closed buy and sell windows, green light, red light. You can sell when it's green. Some people just say, just hold and do the best. Angel, I saw you asked about a GameStop token, and I'm curious to know if it has that same mechanic in it, because I remember that was a big part of the GameStop stock thing. Hold time in hands. It's a common narrative. Are you looking it up, brother?
Yeah, I got it. So yeah, Maya, I would be super curious what it was that got you to leave. You mentioned that you left them some harsh words and left after 5 days, but that they're not dumb.
And TMJ, if you want to send us a message, you're certainly welcome to do it. If you asked about paid promotion, if you're looking to sponsor the show, it could be yours. And the best way to do it is to tap my face, tap his face, send us a DM here. But also, you could send us an email at the Rise Up. It's Rise Up at facelesslabs.io. Rise Up at facelesslabs.io. If somebody has their thumbs at the ready, I'm doing like one finger. It would be helpful to post it in the chat. And if you asked about something, whether it's Angel, you're talking about GameStop, Alluvium, I saw you, we can talk about it. Please do be patient. Thank you very kindly. We like to get in a conversation here, but we will not leave you behind. So what's Maya saying? I'm catching up. It was just so strange, but there were like 4 main guys who seem very knowledgeable. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're articulate individuals. The one who's
and you're going to
reached out
speak
to
to
me.
Lloyd probably, Alex. Okay, Lloyd. Real quick interruption. I just saw your mom join. Linda, I thought of you yesterday because I sent Alex a text message and said, hey, please tell Christina Happy Mother's Day. But I immediately, after I sent it, I was like, oh, I should have told him to tell his mom Happy Mother's Day. So, Linda, happy belated Mother's Day. Europe, here's what it means when a contract is renounced. Can I talk? It means that somebody has done something to give the audience trust that they can no longer access the private key that created that contract. In crypto, everything is run by keys. The crypto stands for cryptography, and you have a private key represented in your wallet by a seed phrase usually, but it's just a string of numbers and letters that functions like a key to a mailbox that you own, that you can unlock, open, put mail in, take mail out of. And it is able to sign things for you on the blockchain, approve the sending and transferring of assets, information. And it also generates public keys for you. You can generate an infinite number of public keys practically from your private key. And that's like your address, your public mailbox address, that if Alex knows my address, he can send me some mail, but he doesn't have my private key, so he can't take the mail out of the box. And when you renounce the contract, smart contracts like wallets have keys. So if Alex and I spin up a token collection right now, we're going to get a contract that our wallet, our private key, something controls. And what we can do is either destroy the record of the seed phrase, send it to some other place, have a scrambler change the password for I don't know, Alex, what are some of the ways you've seen creatively people renounce contracts? It's really kind of a trust me bro thing on a lot of levels, because there's nothing to stop that person from taking a little record of the private key, unless you, I don't know, what are the best ways to do it, you would say? You have thoughts?
It's tough.
It is tough.
Yeah, I don't know. I would probably have to ask a developer about that for more specifics on different methodologies for renouncing. It, like Evan said, essentially what it means is that they just give up control of the contract. They don't get to make changes to it anymore, futz with stuff. However, yeah, I have never run into that with any of our own projects. I've never run into a moment where like someone who I no longer wanted to have control or access to something like was still there. And in the one, actually that's a lie. In the one instance that it did happen, I just assumed that at any second, like anything that's left in that contract or in that wallet could just be swiped by them.
Yeah.
You know, never has, but like that's just how I operate. So I just keep the wallets empty. But no,
Yeah,
I
and
don't know.
you can verify review you what you should ask if you're concerned about it is how can you verify that the contract has been renounced? Or can you help me verify? You go into the Discord, go into the Telegram. Can you help me verify the contract is announced? Where do I see that? Um, they may have filmed themselves doing it. They may, any number of methods for social proof. They may have deployed the contract on a platform like uh, Dex Labs or Manifold Studio, which will allow you to like toggle on and off. Do you want the keys? Do you want to renounce the contract? In which case, what they do is they create a contract for you and like send you tokens. But you don't have access to alter the contract after that. Um, yeah, absolutely. That's right too. Vibe and Majag gives a great synopsis. So you could do a self-destruction function, which is a function that essentially corrupts that information. You can transfer ownership of the contract, or send it to a burn address. Yeah, absolutely. Which is just an address on the blockchain whose private keys are irretrievable. Um, and always confirm through the blockchain. If you go to the blockchain explorer, you can find out by that contract's address. Even if you can't read it, copy and paste the contract into GPT, and say, they claim this contract has been renounced. Has it? What are red flags to look for? And just because if it's a blacklist, if they say they've renounced the contract, that's your next step. How can I verify that you've renounced the contract? Can you help me verify? Or just take the contract address to GPT and check it out.
Yeah, there's a. I just asked Gemini for an explanation of fake renunciation. Because I mean, I'm imagining it would be probably pretty easy to fake it. And yeah, there's a bunch of examples of different ways that people have faked it before. And actually, one that I didn't even consider is just the continued use of proxy contracts, which is one of the flags that Dex Screener, Dex Tools, Token Sniffer, all of them will highlight for you if they find it present. And that was one of those interesting points that we had talked about because there are like
Can you refresh us, Alex?
Yeah. So a proxy contract is a copy of the main contract. And that is the one that people like users interact with and do stuff with. That way the real one can be worked on, maintained, kept more secure, whatever. This is the good reason why you would use it. And that way, if they need to make changes to it, they don't have to disrupt their users like day-to-day lives. So for example, the USDC stablecoin operates on a proxy contract so that maintenance or updates or fixes or whatever needs to happen can get done to the real USDC contract, but like users who are in the middle of sending or receiving that stablecoin don't have to experience any like disruption in service. It's a user experience thing. However, you can also use one maliciously so that you can like sell everyone on an idea. They can audit code and see this contract and read the rules and whatever, maybe not necessarily realizing that they're looking at a copy. And then you can have the real one and you can be changing stuff and they can't tell until it's too late and you already pushed the change. So it can be used to, one, make the user experience life more smoother because they can do all of the maintenance without changing anything live. Or it can be used maliciously to hide whatever someone is trying to do to a project. So it's one of those things. It's like I say in that Moonbase video. None of these things individually are indicative of a scam because there are legitimate reasons you would do everything. There are very legitimate reasons for running a blacklist.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, we have run a project that contained a blacklist function because I wanted to be able to, and again, I'll make a disclaimer about blacklist when I finish this, because I wanted the ability to be able to, one, use it in the confines of like running games and events with like specific pieces of the token, if you had a reason to, and then two, Europe, I did not see the stitch of my video. I don't know how I didn't get a notification of that happening, but I sure didn't. Well, you have to be more specific. Which video? What was it? Oh, blacklist.
Yeah, tell us why.
And then also just, if someone like, steals or scams or rips somebody off and gets their tokens, I would, you want to be able to shut that wallet down, or at least the movement of your token. Yeah, that's one of those things. Like there are ways that you can bake into a contract basically whatever you want to do. Like you could totally do a contract. That's how a lot of honeypots work, where you'll notice too. Sometimes you'll buy a honeypot and then it ends up like there's nothing in your wallet. It's because they pulled it out. So there is absolutely a function that you can write into some smart contracts. I don't know if it's present in every language or on every blockchain, but where you can write the thing and you can sell the token to people and then they can buy the token from you and then you can just withdraw it from their wallet because you've allowed that function in the contract. Anyone who looked at the code could see that, but most people don't have the ability to see that. And yeah, you can DM it to me, Europe. I haven't seen any stitches with my video for Moonbase, but perhaps the individual who did it blocked me.
Yeah, cool. I'd be interested to see that.
Yeah. Anyway, I just my opinion on like blacklist, proxy contract, whitelist, transfers pausable, all that kind of stuff. Like there are reasons you might want those features, but if you turn one of those features on, one, you have to know that every token auditor is going to flag you. So you need to have immediately accessible and findable information and an explanation as to like why do you have that. That's it. Machiste, I would actually be curious to hear or to pick your brain about this at some point because I have a more rudimentary understanding of it just from seeing the feature like listed. This was specifically on Elrond, now Multiverse X, where I can't remember the name of the feature. I'll have to look it up and I can ping it to you and ask. But where like, yeah, so some honeypots or honeypot type scams, people could purchase it. They would legitimately receive the token. Then there were some where you would purchase it and like in your wallet, it would look like you had something to trade, like that you could track the price on. Like if you connected back to Uniswap, your wallet was reading a balance. But then after the rug was pulled and the honeypot was, there and gone, the balance would be zeroed. And you're never listed on chain as an actual holder, which I just assumed was either one, like retractable tokens, or two, although you would see an outgoing transaction if somebody did that, I guess. Or two, you never bought the tokens to begin with. You bought like an allotment or an allowance share or, like a something instead. I don't know. That this now we're getting outside of my realm of technical understanding and into specifics. And again, like I said in the Moonbase video, the purpose of that was like what you can look up with no coding experience. It was just like, Here's the tools available. And boom. Yeah. So Machiste, I'll send you one as an example, because the not being tracked as a holder is a base unique honeypot thing. I've never seen it or experienced it anywhere else other than on base, where like the deck screener profile at the end would just have one holder listed, even though you could see how many wallets were like actively buying. The holder count never went above one, and they were holding, 99 point whatever percent or 90 point whatever percent or some crazy high number.
Is this right that you're holding the tokens, but there's no liquidity? My understanding is the liquidity is showing as being
well
there.
at the time, yeah,
not there.
It's showing because it is there. You just you have no ability to sell into and claim any of that. And then eventually somebody pulls the rug. Like every honeypot ends in a rug pull. They just like stop you from being able to, because then, you know, some people will be like, no, all you have to do is just keep your finger on the trigger and get out early. And it's like, you don't get the option to get out early with a honeypot. You just lose. The second you hit buy, you lost.
You just get in. There is no getting out.
All right, let's turn this here. Let me show.
Okay, you got it up. You gonna take us through?
So I'll keep it brief because this is all in that video already. And oh, geez. So there's Moonbase's chart.
It's a short life, but a good life.
Yep. Go Plus has, where are we? Blacklist and pausable transfers. This is way too big. There we go. Sorry.
Yeah. You're going to have to narrate that for me, for my old eyes over here, Alex.
Yeah. So there's the Go Plus little quick audit, which, you know, like I said, grain of salt for all these things because they screw up a lot. I mean, like, quick intel over here telling me that there's no issues, which is wild. Quick intel cannot see the blacklist, and Go Plus does. So what I said in the video again is that you know, I don't know, like at this point, if there's a discrepancy between two audit sources, at that point, what you have to do is go check the code yourself. But like, I can't do that. I don't have the ability to read that code and that contract. So at this point, I'm just going to err on the side of caution and know that I'm literally not missing out on anything except apparently losing a bunch of money. So it's like a really easy skip for me. Yeah. So anyway, like I said, I cannot be any more clear about that. I understand that this little thing says ownership is renounced, and that's fine. But like, there's enough red flags for me to not care about that. There's also a world where all of these are fine, right? Like all of these are good. And then I go to Token Sniffer and it has 100 out of 100. And then I talk to the people and they're all sweet, wonderful people. And there is still the fact that this is a hold to earn Ponzi scheme with a buy and sell tax. So it's a useless token whose only hope of success is bullying people into keeping it by bribing them not to sell, apparently, and then punishing them if they do. And I don't care if you're Mother Teresa and you launched this and the code is perfectly renounced and the liquidity is all burned or locked and your audit is great and there's no nefarious whatever and you're just a legitimately operating project and all of the founders are doxxed and they're all publicly registered individuals with this fully legitimate business. If this is your business plan, I don't care about any of that. It's just a no. And again, I'm just a person on the internet sharing my opinion. You know, no one has to listen to me. But in my experience, things built like this only end up one way, and that's what it looks like. They just go to zero because this is a bullshit token model. That's it. Mm-hmm. I could not be more clear about how nothing that I saw here guaranteed to me that anything was a scam. And I don't take the word scam lightly. Scam implies specific malicious intent to defraud people and steal money. And I don't necessarily see that. I just see a bad idea. But if you come over here to their website, first of all, it's the same shit. So, yep, it's a hold to earn token on base with a 7% sales tax. All I get about the dream team is that it's a highly committed team of experts. They burned liquidity, which everyone was yelling at me in the comments about how the liquidity's burned. That's why it's not locked. And I'm like, okay, phenomenal. Why hasn't Token Sniffer been able to audit this code, and why isn't there proof of burn? Like, if you burned it, just show me the transaction. Why I shouldn't have to look this hard
to find
that. That's it. Okay.
Let's just
Now
say
let's go
this
look at this.
expert devs LFG calling my bank to make the wire.
Right, for real. Here's this audit. And this is bullshit. So desert finance, okay. Disclaimer. Yeah. Okay. I don't give a shit.
Alex, why is it BS? Why would you call it BS? Tell me more.
Well, I'm about to get. I just mean like this. This does not inspire me with confidence from the beginning.
No, totally.
Like, I don't know who organized this, but this is a PowerPoint that was done in 20 minutes with a copy and paste disclaimer. Okay, so here's the table of contents. Spoiler alert: we're not going to get any of that information. Okay, so very basic stuff. I can get all this from Deck Screener. I don't care about any of that. Code audit. It's the same exact shit. It's this literally the same information from here, but now it's put next to some code. Machiste, I would love for you to look at this and tell me what the fuck I'm actually looking at. And here's a link to all of the code, which looks like it's going to take me to Basescan, so that's good. You can pull this up on Basescan. Although what's interesting is that and it's on BSC scan as well.
Yeah, smart chain.
Yeah. Okay, so yep, a couple errors we don't find. Yep. Okay. So here's the thing. It's renounced. Okay, I would love, like, in a real audit, I would love to see like a highlight. Show me in the line, like, this is great. I'm sure that they looked at it and they verified that it's renounced, and I'm sure that the ownership of the contract is renounced. So, but like put a little bit in here for me to see. Like pull
verify for yourself.
Pull the proof out and post it on this page.
Alex, what's the ticker? Because I know it's Moonbase, but what's the ticker?
MEUN.
MEUN? Weird.
Sorry, WN.
Yeah,
and
MEWN. Okay.
Contract is the one that ends in 75A. Okay. Anyway, we got here. See, like this is better. Here are, accessible functions, and here's some actual like little snippets and highlights from code. So at least that's something. Okay, is it locked? No locked liquidity information has been found. That does track with the claim that it was burned, not locked. But again, just a fucking transaction hash. Just one hash. Just give me a goddamn hash. Nothing about this is hard. If you're running a project like this should be like the most obvious piece of common sense information that you can share. If part of your claim to fame is that you burned liquidity, and that's why you're presenting on all of these as the red flag of not being locked, which you should know by now people are going to take as a red flag, then just offer an explanation. Just share the transaction hash for the burn. That's it. Okay, yep. So I don't care about any of this. None of this means anything to me, especially since contract transaction fees, at the time of the audit, the fees listed below, screenshot from the website. This isn't an audit. Like, none of this.
Yeah, no.
None of this is an audit. Website overview. Above images are actual snapshots of the current live website. This is an idiotic, redundant sentence that makes no fucking sense. These are actual snapshots of the current live website. No, they're not. It's a screenshot that could have been changed. This is old. Like, this isn't live. This isn't a live feed. Why would you write that? Website was registered. Okay, yeah, great. Okay, phenomenal. This is just so stupid. This is like if I asked a third grader to audit a project and they're like, well, it says it on the website. It's like, okay. The website checklist, it's mobile friendly. Somehow that deserves a green check mark in an audit. This is a joke. This audit is an absolute joke. And it's embarrassing that you see, like, this is what makes me think that they're just stupid. Because why would you put this on here? Like, I am going to eviscerate these people if they try to defend this audit to me. General web security. Okay, great. So they registered their domain. Clean email address. Oh, this is funny. So how does this check out if there's no valid email found?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I must be missing something.
Yeah, and that's possible, but I think I'm with you. I honestly, I grow weary of it. I'm over it.
No,
You've shown me more than enough. It's thoroughly educational, but it's losing my it's ceasing to be entertaining, and I'm becoming sad for you that you're going to spend 30 more minutes of your life. But like also, good on you. Maybe
it's a
maybe it'll
teachable
work out.
moment. Because like I said, I don't see reasons to think this is a legitimate scam. Or like a straight up scam. But there's nothing good about it.
Yeah.
Like if they put this project together and then had the opportunity to screw up, they screwed up every single time that I can't check the stitch. We're live, but I will look at it after.
Yeah, you're up. Thanks for the stitch, for sure. We'll definitely check it out. Not to that's the good thing about hanging out with me and Alex. Is like if we're wrong, we'll tell you. But I have a heart. You're not wrong, man. About like if this project is legitimate, at the very best, they have a horrible communication problem. Somewhere next to that, they don't know what they're doing, and then at the bottom end, they're trying to deceive you. So
No, it's really that simple. There's like I said, this is the last time I'll say it and we'll move on. Because I'm sure we're all bored. I said this in a video, I maintain this today. Looking at this, I don't see anything that's like obviously a scam. Said that. What I do see is a disaster. What I also see is nothing special. What I also see is 14 billion other memes and no reason that this is anything to write home about. And in the meme world, you are either a unicorn or you are superfluous. And there is nothing in between.
pretty much.
And that's as simple as it is.
But I've had a good time with some superfluous tokens. A short time, but a good time.
No, yeah, dude.
So, you can, but don't get married to that token.
But Evan, you walk into those the same way that you would walk up to a slot machine for one final pull before you hopped on your airplane.
Sure. Or a beautiful lover many years ago on the moonlit plains. But it's
So anyway, I'm
wild.
curious to hear how it goes. I'm not holding my breath. Hopefully they learned something. And as I said publicly in the comments and also privately in the DM, I make no claim that I'm absolutely right. And I think the quality that every educator needs to possess is that you have to be willing to continue learning. And I'll correct myself if I'm proven wrong. But you got a lot of work to do to prove me wrong on the claim that these look really suspicious.
What time is your meeting?
Literally, as soon as we're done, I'll text him.
Oh, I got you. Well, then what do you say? Do you want to? I got some rapid fire questions. I've taken some notes about a couple of things folks have asked. And the first one I want to ask you about is somebody came in and asked if we would talk about Alluvium.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I have given it the token a look, given the project a look, because it had been a minute since I had checked on them, what they've been up to lately. But I was curious, as our resident gaming expert, if this is one that you could shed some light on. It looks like they've made some progress and have a much more playable beta and expanded their capacity as a studio, though I don't know, what kind of juice is there from the squeezing. And I'm curious to see, it's had a pretty active period lately. I personally think the last time its price was high, when the token was like $1,500, $2,000, it was the peak of the 2021 bull run, and people
Was it
were
up
just
that
so
high?
hyped on the potential for this game, which really was the best marketed Web3 game, maybe before Axie Infinity that I had ever seen personally. Um, I know it's on ETH and integrated with Immutable X. So they got that layer 2 vibe going on. Gives them zero gas for minting, exchanging assets, but that's where my knowledge stops. I saw some video footage of it. It looks like they're still continuing to market. They've got partnerships with influencers who seem to enjoy and love the game. I don't know. Could be a fruit juice worth the squeeze, but in terms of like price, don't buy in when there's a big green candle for sure. And I personally think the high last time was a little much until it becomes like a game with a legit studio. But Alex,
I'm sorry, my breath is taken away by the fact that it is at $81 right now with a $500 million market cap. And yet, in November of 2021, it was $1,900.
yeah, I think it peaked at almost 2,000, which is why I say I think at that time it was overpriced. I think this is probably a more accurate reflection of what it's worth to people who care about it.
Yeah, holy shit.
And even now, frankly, personally, I think it's a little overpriced. And I was looking to try and see in the last 3 months what happened that people were buying the token. And I do believe they've announced an airdrop that they plan to do recently, which is going to be interesting. If they do an airdrop, that's going to either create more tokens, which will dilute the price, or distribute tokens in a way that I'm sure will have an effect on the price, because people will probably that would explain why people are buying them right now.
Yeah, see, this is such a bummer because I confess this is the first time I've ever looked at the chart for Illuvium's token, but I've seen like lots of footage and gameplay reviews and watched streams and heard presentations and Twitter spaces and whatever. Comfy, this is Illuvium.
ILV is the token ticker, but if you just search Illuvium, ILLUVIUM, or even misspell it, you'll find it. Hang on, I'll pull up just the website so you can see what you're looking for.
God, that is absolutely bonkers to me.
Do you know how well funded they were, Alex? Because I seem to remember they've been building this game for years, like at least 10 years. Kind of thing. I don't know what it started as, but I remember thinking this is one of the only Web3 games that claims to be a AAA game that has the funding and the team to back it up.
Listen, AAA is such a buzzword, and it doesn't mean anything in terms of the quality of the game. AAA is a money thing. Studios are AAA when they are above a certain threshold money-wise.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant, is that they had a budget to say that.
Yeah. I don't know who, I mean, I know that everyone big was backing them. Their partners list is gigantic.
If you want to play along, it's Illuvium.io.
I mean, the footage of the game looks awesome. It looks great. I have not yet played it or played whatever is available.
Yeah, they have early access to the most hyper version for influencers, and they had honestly, their progression was not unlike gives me hope for something like Syndicate Game Shades of Sin and like Glass for Breakfast as a studio, because they really just did something people enjoyed at a small scale, scaled it up, people liked it, got more partners, scaled it up, just piece by piece by piece. And it's taken them a long time, but like they seem to have built something really cool.
Yeah, I mean, they are hiring. They have 150 people on their team. They've got a lot. I mean, they're an iconic name in and around the space. That token. This is why I don't like tokens. This is why I have such a hard time with tokens in games.
Yeah.
The token in the game as like a speculative investment by which the validity of the game is then determined is so unfortunate and so backwards.
Yeah,
Um,
I
and
agree.
it makes me genuinely sad because Illuvium could be amazing, and so many people who like are theoretically in their target audience to try it will look at that token price and just be over it, and that sucks.
Okay, so that's the thought on alluvium. If you got other thoughts, you disagree, you want to hear something else, let us know. Thank you for your stewardship of that. I knew you'd deliver some juice from my squeeze. What do we think about cat with hat? Uh, are we bullish on cat with hat? More
Oh.
zeros from this kitty, less zeros. Um, when did we first hear about cat with hat, Alex? It seems like an eternity in meme years. That token launched. Uh, I'm pulling it up right now. Looks like the token launched, or at least it got to coin market cap in February. When were we playing around in the meme coin casino? I feel like it was around that time. I feel like we caught it near the beginning when it was doing cool stuff in terms of price action. And I have seen it a lot also in conversation on social media as like one of the Solana memes that will have the legs to become like a Pepe. That's what I have heard people say. But people say that about all kinds of meme coins all
Yeah.
the time. But it's been picking up interest and activity recently. It's got a $25 million market cap, which is nothing to sniff at if you're a meme token.
No.
But it's a long way to go from Pepe territory, from Shiba Inu territory,
Yeah, absolutely.
especially Doge territory. It could go to zero at any time, and its previous market cap all-time high, it looked like, was a couple times this. Looks like it might have gotten close to above 50 million and almost 100. Fully diluted market cap is almost 700 million, but market cap is 25.
Yeah. You know, I think I mean with stuff like this, like if it's funny, if it has legs in meme world, um, they can be fun to like participate in. They can be fun to like hang out with people and join the shill culture and like join the Twitter raids and like do all that kind of stuff. Just like don't bet your house on it, because I don't know me. In my experience, like looking at memes, there's two kinds. No, that's not true. There's three kinds of memes. There's the ones that do like classic meme structure, which is like launch, they get a little bit of hype, they rock it, and then they crater, and then they're done. Um, and you either get up here or you're the salty bag holder who's stuck at zero. And then they have like next to no chance of recovery. It's theoretically possible, but it almost never happens. Then there's the ones that just launch and they never take off. And if you go to like pump.fun or Dex Screener or Dex Tools and you watch the like live launch, like the new pair list, a new token is launched every 5 or 6 seconds. It's constant. It's constant. And most of them never do anything. The vast majority never do anything. And then there's the ones like the Pepes or the original Whiff or Shib, or I'm not even going to say Doge because it doesn't count. Honestly, even Shib doesn't really count. It was before a lot of the other, like at the time when Shib launched, there wasn't a meme being launched every 6 seconds. But then there's those unicorns that like do something and they have staying power and they grow to escape velocity and that's the thing.
Mm-hmm. We like the meme. We like the ticker, that kind of thing. It reminds me of that. Alex, do you think we're in a bull run?
Overall, yeah, probably.
I agree with that because I think people will look back at this time period and call it the bull run of whatever our time, and who knows how long it will extend. But I personally have resisted from calling it a bull run. I think it's a part of a bull cycle. Somebody says, when will it start? When will it start? And so I imagine what you're asking about is like that end of 2021 activity where we saw alluvium go to almost $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Nobody knows. And honestly, that usually kind of thing that, it seemed like it lasted for a long time, but that it was pretty brief. And when I look back at it, I could see the prices coming up all the way there. So probably would be kind of my answer too. I feel like we're in that time where things are generally moving up and to the right. Who knows if they'll explode, when they'll explode. It's an election year. We got the ETFs now. We got some big lawsuits in the pipeline. I also wouldn't be surprised if it kind of cooled off for a minute. Personally,
I mean, that's
doesn't
even
have to
even if
happen.
we just look at it historically, we're not nothing's going to happen till the end of the year anyway. But I don't know. I gave up a long time ago expecting anything specific from crypto, and the one thing that I do know to be more historically true than not is when it's boring. That's usually when two things happen, or no, that's usually when people stop paying attention, and that's when they should be paying attention. Because like the interesting thing is that it's not like crashing and bleeding
No.
right now. Like it's just ranging. It's just holding, and it's wild. It's wild to me that with this much like conflicting information and fighting opinions about bear versus bull and bullish and bearish like global macro events, all that sort of stuff. Like it's really interesting that Bitcoin is just still over 60 and hasn't really gone into the 50s.
Yeah.
That to me is really surprising. I absolutely would have expected back down towards 50 and maybe even into the high 40s. But I would have thought that this is why I don't make price predictions, because no one fucking knows. Nobody knows anything. But it's just that is really interesting to me, and I think that just kind of speaks to the staying power that the ETFs existing have given to Bitcoin as an asset. Plus, I mean, now, Michael Saylor, who's not selling Bitcoin anytime soon, holds 1% of the supply.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Okay, so while I look up this project that Machiste shared, can we do Angel of Service, who's always here, always helping, always hyping us up, and check it? You mentioned at the very start, Angel, a token called GameStop, after the stock. Did you happen to look that up? Because I
Yes.
saw it and scrolled away before I could double check it.
Yeah, no, I looked at it. It looks like it's just a meme based on the stock. I don't know if the Wall Street bets people are having anything to do with it, but I'm assuming, Angel, that you might have asked because it looks like it's been out for several months, and it had a massive run and a huge crash, and it was flat, and then it went 700% yesterday.
I feel like I remember seeing it when we were hanging out in the meme coin casino earlier this year and being like, oh, GameStop, I wonder if it's affiliated at the exact same reaction.
Yeah, it's done 830% in the last 24 hours, and that's what the chart looks like. Just flat, 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 flat. No volume, no volume. Well, actually, I can't even say that. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in volume, and then boom, $32 million in volume today.
Wow. Yeah, I'd be curious if they have a Reddit community, something to see who did what. That's a lot of money to move for a meme coin in one time. 24-hour trading volume of 50 million. Jeez. That's just
why I don't see any. There's nothing on their social media about.
Well, here's one for Zigzag. GameStop currently has a bigger market cap than Cat with Hat. That is wild. And somebody had the gall to tweet, GameStop is up. I hope you hold. Dude, I'm selling, bro.
Yeah. If you have it, consider profits.
I am taking profits. Forget it. Totally taking profits on this. Absolutely. And it looks like meme stocks might have also had a resurgence. GameStop's stock did a 20% pre-market surge, and in some cases it looks like it was as much as 30, which is in stocks huge. you know.
Machiste says that market cap can be manipulated. We've talked about that a lot. Market cap is like one of the dumbest metrics that you can judge on, because that honeypot that I did, what the hell is it called?
Talking
Maybe
about
that was
Lima.
maybe that was Bonk Killer.
Oh no, yeah.
And it was exactly that. It was a three people held the token and they priced it whatever they wanted, and since no one else held it, that's whatever it was. And there was
Was
they
it like
priced it.
hundreds of billions of dollars?
No, the market cap was $300 trillion.
Oh yeah.
And that's just because a small handful of people held all of the tokens. They listed them at a price, and they listed them at a price. And since they were the only people with any of the supply, whatever they said, that's what it was. And so they listed them at like $30. They were trading them back and forth to each other at $30. And they each had like 100 trillion or 100 trillion tokens. So 10 trillion. Sorry, there we go. I can do math.
That's so wild, dude. Okay, so check this out. The premise of World PvP is a strategy game on chain, not unlike Crypto the Game. Your boy might have to get involved. Building on base. Look at their awesome on meme banner. The premise is 211 countries, one nuke, hundreds of millions on the line, coming soon on base. Love the teaser, and honestly, I am curious to get into it. It looks like the winner unlocks a nuclear missile they can use to nuke a country of their choosing, whichever country, meaning they're all competing with their own coin for who can get the highest market cap during a 30-day period. I don't know, man. I'm bullish on the UAE personally. That's pretty cool. The top holder of a country's token, excuse me, they're using them interchangeably. I imagine it's a token. The top holder of a country's token will automatically become the country's president and will be the person who decides which country to nuke when his country wins. The nuke will run the targeted country liquidity. 50% of the ETH gained from that. The nuke will rug liquidity. 50% of the ETH gained from the rug goes to the country that launched the nuke, and 50% goes to a random country on the map. More details in our docs. And it sounds like they have some kinks to work out. I see someone here who's reporting work on the website chat. It needs to be refreshed. There's a lot of spam, but the team seems super responsive. They've opened up their alpha quest 23 minutes ago. This is at World PvP LCO. It's on Twitter. Haven't done my diligence yet to make sure. I imagine since Machiste shared it and since it's got all this responsiveness, it's probably not a rug, but you should still check. I just want you to know this because it's timely. This is the handle, World PvP CO on Twitter. They've opened their first alpha quest, which I imagine is going to help get you in. You have 24 hours left to complete it. Participate now and start earning exclusive rewards. Who knows what the rewards are, but if that's how you play the game. And I don't think it's necessarily a whale game. Just because you got to be the country's top holder doesn't mean you got to spend the country's most money. If it's a strategy game and people like you and want you to be the president, you could do that. And if Crypto the Game taught us anything, it's that people don't necessarily like or want to win people who can buy their influence. Oh my God. The memes are great. Based Chad just posted Chad's being based in Chad. Look at this. Look at this. This is the best meme I've seen today. Chad. Chad in Chad. So based. I would definitely check it out, Machiste. Let me know if you're playing. I am bookmarking this to check it out later. Because I will definitely register and complete this quest and try to be the president of the United States of America. Or maybe the strategy is, go to a country that not many people are funding and hope you get the random money from a new. That is so wild. Oh my gosh. Okay, what do we got, man? How we doing?
Just looking at this, I was just digging on the GameStop to try to see if there was some specific reason. Someone mentioned the stock maybe was doing well. Had a day. But
Catching up on the chat, everybody. Jerome Powell and Biden gonna get USA nuked immediately. Do I think modularity will have a run in this cycle? I think everything is having a run in this cycle. I had a really good conversation with someone yesterday about like the distinction between what will run this cycle versus what a narrative will accomplish in the future. I think AI and crypto are a match made in heaven that in the future will deliver real value to people as blockchain verifies, provides security to AI, etc. But all of the tokens that fall into the AI umbrella, I would just about bet my house that none of them are going to realize that promise in the next year. But most of them will go up in price because AI is cool.
yeah, I mean, and unless there's like a specific reason for it not to, if everything else runs, they'll probably go for the. And Wes, there's absolutely no way to tell. That is a total crapshoot and luck. Usually the thing that catalyzes a specific narrative doing something is like an unpredictable, moment, like Larry Fink saying that he is a big fan of RWA blockchain assets, pushing that narrative into the forefront of everyone's attention. Like whoever Larry Fink told he was going to say that are the only people who could have seen that coming. And you could say that about probably any of them. Like if I'm trying to think of another example of one that has done something crazy. Back, there was like a baby AI run, like back before there was a really strong AI narrative, like when Alethea was starting, because Mark Cuban came out and said that he was becoming an investor, and it did like 1,200% that day, and then it lifted a bunch of other AI stuff, and it, but now it's done like nothing. So hard to say. I wish I knew. That's one of those questions I wish I could tell you.
You know what I think though, Cookie Muncher says, I hope gaming coins will dominate. What I feel like as I look down the list, real world assets, real world gaming is probably, to me, closer to realizing its value than most of the other narratives. I think SocialFi is pretty close. I think real world assets is going to take such a long time in terms of like everything is on the blockchain. But there are some pretty big milestones happening now. I think AI is a long way away before crypto is adding true value to AI. I think DeSci is probably a long way away. I think DeepIn is emergent, but also so vast in scope. I had a conversation the other day with somebody who is working on a pretty comprehensive project that is endeavoring to use hardware integrated with blockchain to bring infrastructure to many different kinds of communities across the world. It reminded me of like helium in spirit, decentralizing the access to the internet. But the problem is like solving the hardware problem is really tough. Distributing the hardware can be tough. And then competing to make the incentives viable for people to continue to host, ensuring all the incentives are aligned. It's an extremely tough game when you're solving macro problems like that. I don't know. So, like Alex said, tomorrow, Elon Musk could tweet DeSci, and absolutely all the tokens. If he tweeted a token list, they'd all go through the moon. That has nothing to do though with like the real narrative will emerge when the tech becomes real. We are standing at a horse racing track, speculating on horses. Henry Ford is in the crowd, but the assembly line is not here yet. You know what I mean? Neither is the highway.
Real quick, just because this was an interesting little back and forth, what's his name? Mert? Stand by.
Okay, while you're standing by, you got to give me this question. Do you think that kids are going outside and playing again as like a normal thing? Will that be normal ever? Older kids, do you think you see Jordan doing that?
It is normal. They're outside all the time.
That's what I thought. I feel like there are a lot of kids outside, but I'll tell you what, there is a sort of pervasive myth that like when we were kids, it was safer, we played more, that kind of thing.
Holy shit, no. That is one of the this has nothing to do with crypto, but that is such a farce. It's insane. The only thing that has changed, it was worse back then. The only thing that has changed is we are now hyper aware and vigilant, and people just notice things that you were like, that you would wave off as nonsense back in the day.
Yeah. And you
But
hear
like,
about it more. Like you hear about a kid who died in Iowa, a kid who got abducted in Michigan, Uganda, a kid dies in China, and people in the United States will hear about it, kind of thing. It creates this perception of like, don't trust, it's
my
dangerous, not safe.
my biggest example of that is it's a stark contrast, but like I asked my grandmother once, so for context, she was alive and a conscious human being, like not a baby, when Albert Fish was active.
Oh,
And
dude, Albert Fish is a terrifying man. Whoa.
and she had never heard of him, but she did not live that far away. And just that could never happen now, that like you could be anywhere on earth during something like Albert Fish and not know all about it. So, and that man would just, I mean, what's her face? Grace Budd, his most famous victim. He just walked into her family's backyard when all of them were there and sat at the picnic table and then offered to take her to his house to a birthday party. And her parents were like, yeah, go with this obviously homeless individual. And she was never seen again.
Good question though.
But yes, I guess, I mean, the kids in our neighborhood there's like this rolling dirt ball of children that just like rolls around the neighborhood, like spitting a kid out here, picking up two more over here, and they're out there all the time. The thing I was gonna,
did you get it pulled up?
yes. So I retweeted Mert 0x Mert Mert. He had an interesting point just about DAOs that I really agreed with. He said I've still yet to see a DAO actually function, and I love talking about this because, dude, DAOs suck. DAOs are like the coolest idea ever,
Oh,
and they just like they always do poorly. And I don't really know of. I think you could probably count on one or two hands the number of DAOs that are anywhere near legit.
yeah, but you could definitely count them. This is one of the things I would push back on. I think they are mostly not talking. They're too busy DAOing. They're like a trading group with a really successful bot. They're too busy being successful trading to tell you about it and ask you for money to buy in.
But that's my point. That's my point. The only examples of successful DAOs don't have anything to do with money, because the best DAOs are not going to make anybody rich. They're just going to properly democratize egalitarian governance in something. So that was just my point. I was just going back and forth with someone. Someone was trying to tell me like, the reason that they're not popping off is because there's no legal framework to work under. And I'm like, no, I don't buy that at all, because your local public library is not being stopped at all from using tokens to identify, class or prolific book borrowers, and then inviting them to a town hall where they get to, agree on, some new stuff or new programs or, new initiatives or reorganizing this section or whatever. No one's going to make any money doing that, but the people who care about it would really enjoy that. And so because no one's going to make any money or get rich, no one gives a shit. But like, that's what DAOs are for. I hate to break it to you. DAOs are not meant to make 30 people super wealthy.
Yeah, but they do. I will say they streamline operations in a couple, in more use cases. I'm starting to think of DAOs more like email, where the infrastructure that makes DAOs possible, shared treasuries, smart contract everything, tokenized everything, are going to be like email in the ways we use them in the future. And my favorite example is Cougar DAO. There are many good examples, but Cougar DAO is my favorite example of like someone doing it right now. They have tokenized a piece of farm property, and a rental apartment, an Airbnb here in Memphis, and they're all blockchain nerds. So like this is not easy for you to do right now. But if you are a blockchain nerd, you could totally copy this. They have a Wyoming DAO. Many members of their DAO are lawyers. They also have a lot of experience in real estate. So like they have the trifecta. They're not just like, wouldn't it be cool if we did this? They're like, oh no, let's build it. Solid Trust built it. They have a contract. They have a multi-sig. They have a token. They collect rent on this apartment from a contract that holds it in escrow. It's dripped to them in real time, second by second, like a great staking protocol. Their farm produces revenue. They rent it out to people, and they collectively use their treasury to invest in more land as the treasury grows. People can withdraw at any time. People vote. They've had a lot of votes. I attended a great presentation on it because a friend of mine is one of the founding members, and it's killer. But because the infrastructure of it, it's like talking about here's how to set up your email instead of like, and it's 1996 instead of like, I'm going to make you rich in real estate or something like that. It's not at that point yet. And honestly, it will never be.
Like Anthony brings up a really good point. I've heard of Clima for sure.
Yeah, me too.
It's not even to say that like these things shouldn't be. I have a lot of mixed opinions on it, and it's a lengthy, probably pretty boring conversation to really dig into it. But like, you could totally democratize governance in a nonprofit using DAO structure, right? And there is a financial component there that matters quite a bit. Just in like making more transparent the ebb and flow of dollars inside the confines of a nonprofit, and where's the funding come from, and who stands to benefit from this, and whatever. So like Mark Cuban investing in Clima does two things for me. One, it gives me confidence that like, okay, maybe they're really onto something. He obviously sees some sort of potential. But I also know, because I tend to trust the words that come out of Mark Cuban's mouth when he tells me that he is just in stuff to make money, and that's his primary objective. Like if you can trust one thing, you can trust a billionaire to act in their own self-interest. And I guess I just kind of think like, okay, well, that doesn't fill me with a warm and fuzzy feeling for a DAO's success to know that a billionaire is investing in them because the billionaire wants to make money, unless the billionaire is using that particular investment as a tax write-off, which is just another way for them to make money. So they still wanted to do well because of that. And it just makes me feel like the people in the conversation are missing the point of the DAO if they come to make money. And I guess, I don't know, that's... Wes, that's an interesting question. Evan, what is our biggest disagreement?
Probably that I'm still a meat eater. I don't think we really disagree about it in the sense that the way we disagree about it is I'm not a practicing vegan, and Alex is like really committed to that lifestyle. I don't disagree with his ideology about it, and I would like to live closer to a place where, either all the meat I eat I harvest myself, or I just don't eat it. But I feel like that's maybe our biggest ideological disagreement. I also think we probably have theological disagreements, though we're able to, I don't know. Is that what you want to know? I don't know.
Because communication style.
It's obviously not glasses. Yeah, communication style. Yeah.
The way that Evan would speak to the Moonbase team in an hour.
But the fact that you're like going to talk to them means at the core we agree. Once again we agree. I mean, I don't know. We kind of disagreed about the DAO thing. What did we disagree about? We've had small disagreements about stuff.
Yeah, probably maybe the DAO thing a little bit, although I think that we're driving the same direction on different roads on that one.
Yeah, and I can't think of any like crypto stuff. We're pretty simpatico on a lot of our thoughts on the market, and that's like our team. I don't know how it doesn't become an echo chamber, because we all have different interests and we all bring nuance to the conversation, but we all kind of align. The flavor of our community is a reflection of like the people who came together, to start it. Um, definitely. I'm gonna think about that though. I'm really gonna think about that. Um,
Yeah, I don't
Alex,
know.
I'll tell you, I have a spider in my office. It makes me think of you. I'm
Excellent.
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he's been here since last year, and I think he just came back out. I don't know how long spiders live, but he's my friend. Kim sent me a gift that said, "What if that spider you killed thought that you guys were roommates before you murdered him?" So I just, he's just hanging out.
Yeah, I just I keep a few because we have a ton of. I mean, I live in the swamp. We have tons of bugs, so I need some help. I need some help. They keep to themselves, and the mosquitoes that get in the house do not keep to themselves. So the spiders are helping me.
Yeah, you know. I was going to say something about climb it out before we moved on. I don't think it was them, but I had a really great experience with it might have been them, an adjacent DAO organization at East Denver when I went in 2022, and it was one of the best times I had. They had a cabin in the snow with a hot tub, and a bunch of cool people got together to watch a presentation. At that time, they were really interested in carbon credits. They may still be. And there were just people from all over the world in that hot tub, in that living room, in that kitchen, cooking together, drinking cheap beer. Pretty sure somebody had some fun gummies. Uh, and we would go like just it was a wonderful like mini conference. Highly recommend it to anybody who wants to do a conference. Is East Denver? That's the place. I feel like I'm missing something, Alex. I feel like there was a comment I wanted to touch and I missed it, and I'm so sorry to say. Are you
Oh,
looking at this SAB 21 121?
this is an SEC thing. Staff Accounting Bulletin 121.
Okay. While he reads that, I'm going to answer the cat question. I don't believe Alex has any cats.
No.
He has a small herd of dogs.
Yeah.
And we don't have any, like cats in the house, but we have Garden Cat who lives in our garden. And there's Mama Cat, who is his sister and also the mother of his child, Garden Kitten, who I think of as son of Garden Cat, even though she's a girl. And I don't know, maybe I can find a picture and put it in the background because we got a cute picture of them the other day. Garden Cat is going to get fixed because he can't have any more babies with his sister. One child he's got to take care of. One niece that is his progeny, the son of Garden Cat. Let's see what I got here, if I can pull up a cute picture of them. Are you a cat person? Is that what you asked? Here's them. This is Mama Cat, and that's Garden Kitten right there, the son of Garden Cat. They're pretty great. And Garden Cat, let's see if I have a picture of all of them together. I don't know. I think I got a cute little picture of them sleeping together, just cuddling. Garden Cat has been around for a long time. He's a real friendly guy. They're feral, but he's the only one who's friendly. Mama Cat says, "Don't you friggin' touch me." And Baby Cat, the Garden Kitten is just, too concerned with chasing flowers and bugs and stuff like that. They are very cute. 5 cats, Anthony says. Oh my gosh. I'm hyper allergic to cats, so we couldn't have a cat in the house. It'd be the cat or me.
So, Cookie Muncher, what am I missing about SAB 21? Was there a reason that you were curious about it? Because it looks kind of bland to me. I don't see anything big. It looks so basically. I'm still kind of trying to pick apart. So this is from KPMG, and the defining key impacts of this is recognizing that an issuer holding digital assets for others recognizes that they are custodying them and a liability to return the assets. So it sounds like an insurance thing.
I'm sorry. Can you read that again? I didn't quite catch it.
It's just like acknowledging. So there's a few bullet points here of what is the key impact of this particular bulletin. So an issuer holding digital assets for others recognizes, one, the custody of those assets, and 2, a liability to return them, which just is like a whole lot of words to say you have to give them back if they want them.
Yeah. Okay.
And then an issuer that holds digital assets for others but does not control them, not sure how that works, recognizes a liability for its obligation to safeguard the digital assets and any corresponding assets. This reflects the SEC staff's view that safeguarding digital assets presents unique risks and uncertainties.
But it doesn't give specifics about how they are expected to do that.
No.
Just that they are. So that's what Coinbase does. I think it's just describing a custodial relationship when you hold assets for someone that you don't necessarily own. Like I own the Bitcoin that is in my Coinbase account, even though they hold it. And I think they're just setting up more precedent to help. Honestly, that sounds helpful to me more than anything. Mm-hmm. If that hasn't been precedent until now, why? That's what I would say. Gary, this is the kind of helpful regulation we're looking for.
The impression that I get from this is that it's a piece of actual regulatory investor protection, maybe to give them one more blanket of security over exchanges that go defunct.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the vibe that I get from this so far. So my initial impression is that this sounds good. I'm not reading it though. This is KPMG's like assessment of it, which is probably pretty accurate considering.
And is the name of it in the SAB 121? Is that right?
Yes. SAB 121, Staff Accounting Bulletin 121 from the SEC.
I mean, that sounds a lot less fun to research than worldpvp.com, where I might get to nuke a hypothetical country if I'm being frank. So
here's the Cointelegraph that mentions it.
Okay.
Oh, never mind. I read the next paragraph and it's a nothing burger. So the House of Representatives has voted to pass, this is from 5 days ago, has voted to pass a bill overturning a controversial SEC guidance which prevents banks from owning crypto. However, Biden, in his never-ending quest to alienate every one of his remaining supporters, has warned that he will veto the bill if it makes it to his desk. Cool. Thank you so much for your service, you dusty old shit. So on the 8th of May, the House voted. See, this is the thing, dude. Like this was a bipartisan bill. Whenever we get those, we should celebrate it.
Yeah.
Or at least recognize that it's some sort of a momentous accomplishment. Because as I said that out loud, I remember that the stupid ass funding bill that contained the TikTok ban was also very bipartisan.
Oh, that's something we might disagree on. I changed my mind about that recently. About and we don't have to talk about it now, but that might be a fun rabbit to chase sometimes.
Yeah, that's probably a debate because I remember you said that, and I thought two things. I was like, if Evan thinks it, there's probably a pretty good reason, but I genuinely can't fathom what that reason could be.
Yeah, my mind is open to being changed, but I heard I need to do more verification. I heard a podcast. Great way to start your like academic thesis, right? It was a Tim Ferriss show episode with the gentleman's name is escaping me, but he's a legit fellow who is certainly entitled to an opinion and gave lots of reasons for why he feels that way. He's a national security guy who didn't sound like a dogma wild card. And he presented a lot of information that would be easy to verify. I just haven't gotten around to doing it. That made me think that the way it's designed and the way it's used, that actually this legislation would be helpful.
That's interesting because the legislation
that at the very least a legislation like it, which forces some sort of it. I don't know. It honestly made me think that for the first time, it would be okay to want. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to wrap my head around it still. We'll report back, but just generally speaking, that there was a concern that we should honestly take some action about. I don't know if I trust our Congress to do it, but
Here's my inherent problem with it is that the people who pushed the legislation through have literally now multiple times on camera and in interviews admitted what their actual motive for wanting it to be banned is. Hillary herself just
yeah,
admitted it in an interview.
I saw that.
Multiple senators and representatives have admitted it. It's no secret. There is no secret about why they wanted it to be gone. And there's multiple contributing secrets or reasons as to why they wanted it gone. You can think that it's like a poorly executed or poorly devised plan without even entertaining the idea, because data privacy and security is of course a concern, but I reject wholeheartedly the premise that we should only be concerned about it from certain places and not others. And starting very aggressively in the Trump administration, a lot of the protections and regulations that were in place to protect the everyday consumer from having their data mined from them and sold, have been removed. And that was mostly Trump that did that in his quest to just kill as much regulation as possible. That's one of the things that he got rid of. And you're either under a rock or in denial if you don't think that you've gotten more spam emails and phone calls since that happened about 7 years ago. So it's just horribly slanted. And then the MO for how they proposed to divest from any Chinese influence is just straight up illegal. Congress cannot compel private investors to sell their shares, and 80% of TikTok's ownership is in the hands of private investors who will not sell. So it was an impossible task to begin with, and they literally just did it to stop the spread of information that they couldn't control. That's why they did it. And plus, they get heavily lobbied by Meta, and Meta is wholeheartedly and entirely losing the competition battle for American social media attention with TikTok. And so what they want is to get someone they want to get TikTok out of the race to open the doors for Meta to recapture that American attention, because they're
Yeah. So I'm remembering now the Cliff Notes version is that there is serious substance, according to this fellow, to the claims that the algorithm is suppressing some information and allowing the proliferation of others in unique, specific cases that reflect a bias that may or may not be concerning. He talked about a data test they did with Taylor Swift as an example, for a control. Across platforms, one should expect Taylor Swift, whose audience is more or less everywhere, to trend equally when she posts or when things are posted about her. And in this particular study, which again I have yet to put my own eyes on to verify, but the gentleman talked through it, they had a pretty significant sample size of other topics and found among some of them that there's definitely like they talk about biases in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, biases of information that appear on TikTok as one example, the Ukraine conflict, that are meant to frame, U.S.-Russia relations as unstable, as the U.S. is an unstable actor, as proliferating at like 50 times the rate on TikTok, or being suppressed at such a rate versus other platforms like Instagram, like YouTube. And that's a claim that a lot of people make, is the algorithm is not transparent. We need to know what's in there, kind of thing. And anyway.
I reject the inherent bias so much that Meta is not doing that, because how many times has Mark Zuckerberg been before Congress, and how many times has he been shown to obfuscate how their platform works, how their algorithm works, how information is spread or suppressed on those platforms, and absolutely nothing has ever come out of Congress to handle that or address it in any way, shape, or form. And it took them 3 weeks to go from start to finish on this particular thing. And they've been trying to ban exclusively TikTok for years. Even though there is Supreme Court precedent to suggest that banning a single platform is unconstitutional, and they will reject it. So like, I just reject that. I can reject it wholeheartedly, not by saying that I don't believe that's true, because I'm sure that their algorithm. I mean, TikTok has an entire genre, an entire niche. It's not censorship. Huge pet peeve of mine when people say that. I mean, it's in TikTok's best interest, just like any social media platform, to keep their algorithm secret, because then that generates so much specific content about trying to figure out the algorithm. It generates traffic. People are constantly trying to post more to see how they can crack it. Like it's done very much on purpose to force more people to post more stuff. Sorry, I agree. Never mind. I thought you were talking about TikTok or Meta suppressing information or doing something on their platform being censorship, not the government. The government doing it, yes, that is the definition of censorship. I apologize. I saw your comment.
Alex is an absolute maxi about the definition of censorship, and I get it.
Yeah, no, it's when the government does it in a specific instance, that is the definition of censorship. When a private company does it in accordance with their personally and privately maintained terms of service that we all agree to, it's not censorship. It's just business, and you can leave or you can stay there. That's up to you.
Alex, I have to tell you truthfully, I'm approaching my well-met status because I have got to use the bathroom, and my dogs do too, but I need to run one more idea by you at least. Can we wind down in the next couple minutes, do you think?
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't mean to cut you off, though.
Yeah, dude.
My bladder had a pang.
It's 10 a.m.
It's 10 a.m., man. Let me ask you this. Somebody posted an idea above. Nick posted this, and I actually think it's brilliant. I want to know if there's a game like this. You are a kid. It looks like Toy Story. It's first person. You've got hands in front of you, and you know all you see is like your hands. You know, it's like first person POV, like Silent Hill kind of thing. You know, you pick up the flashlight and illuminate the room. But it's like Toy Story. It's bright, fun colors. The game is just called Birthday Party or something. And it's like you start out as like a poor kid and you get like one gift on your birthday. And it's a gift that's generated at random. It's a totally digital gift, but every gift is an NFT, and there's a toy room or there's a daycare or something, a playground where you can go and play with other kids who may or may not be NPCs or actual real world characters. You probably have to pay a subscription for that. Anybody can play for free with the NPCs, but you got to play with other people. I don't know, Club Penguin style. And as you level up and get more experience, your birthday parties get better until eventually you're like, you know, the child of a white gloved countess who, you know, like hauls stuff to your home for your birthday to throw a party for you that like their friends want to come to, kind of thing, with free, you know, and NFTs, everything random. Do you get the golden Batman, or is it just like a, you know, crappy put together little doll? I don't know. I feel like that could actually be a really great game with partnerships for NFTs specifically, like a way to make collecting fun and shticky.
I can dig it.
And I feel like you could develop it for cheap.
Probably. I mean, yeah, with some sacrifices, but yeah, probably. It probably wouldn't be mechanically that complicated.
I don't know if I'd want to play it, but I feel like I like the mechanic of like going to other kids' birthday parties and like having to give them a gift, or like maybe you play as a parent. I don't know what's there, but like just exploring it, I feel like that could be fun.
I mean, it's really hard to say. Some very, very dumb games have been made and been very successful.
Not wrong about that. Also, watch out. I just went to pull up the world PvP thing again, and just like what happened to me last time with Zora when I got fished, and like happens often, there is a bad link right under their legitimate post that has like 2,000 views. Watch out for it. Double check the domain. Don't click any bad links and give somebody access to your wallet.
Just don't click links.
Just don't. Don't you forget about me. What are your final thoughts, good jokes, words of wisdom, last questions? What are you thinking?
Think I'm well met.
About to go meet with Moonbase, yeah?
Same time, same place tomorrow. Yep.
Same time, same place tomorrow. We'll be back with Mac will be here and Will too.
I believe that is the plan. Yes, I will confirm today with both of them.
Okay, cool. Then everybody, if you haven't already, please do sign up for the Rise Up Morning Show newsletter. It went out last night. The shortest, briefest bullets, tips, tricks from the show. You can click my face, click his face, or go to the riseupmorningshow.com to sign up for that, to join our free Discord community where it's easier to like send us a message and stuff. And stay tuned, generally speaking, for improvements to the community experience. More educational resources, access. We're working on it. In the meantime, here, there, YouTube at Faceless Labs. All the links can be found at theriseupmorningshow.com. Thank you for joining us today. And until next time, my friends, rise up.